questions? Anything to add? Is there a,
So, I'll move that we accept the agenda as presented.
I will second it.
motion and a second to approve the agenda? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Move on. Anybody open forum?
Did you sign up for open forum? Did you sign up for open forum?
Oh, no. You know, man, I don't have too much to say.
Okay, we will move on. Old business. The approval of the CMAR contract with McCown Gordon. What we got here, boss?
Okay, Barry was gonna be on here he's having Google Meet issues, it sounds like. But
Sunspots.
we're just working through, we've been working through the contract. I believe it's in your packets now. It was a little different on what was in the original board packet online. Just they sent the final one over today. They had a couple things to go over. There's a lot of discussions about just that sub-guard. There's the warranty and things like that. We sent it to our attorney. He had some things, and their attorney, that's why it's taken some time. Their attorney talked back and forth with them, and so it's just taken a while to get it going and things. And other than that, it sounds like we're all ready to sign off on it now. They need it to get going on getting their contract signed, like through the other work that's going on, the gym work this summer and things like that. So.
Did they make the changes that was suggested?
Yeah, they worked through that with the attorney and things like that.
But did they make the changes on the warranty of the sub-guard?
Well, the sub-guard, Barry's in now. So the sub-guard,
Do you want to just ask Barry?
well, the sub-guard, we decided to do it as that they would show us both options between bonding and the sub-guard. And then the warranty, it kind of sounded like that was a kind of the cost of doing the business and things. So it's a 0.5% that's on there. So yes, it's still in there.
Evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hey,
This is Barry.
This is Barry.
Do you have anything to add about the contract, Barry?
I don't, unless you guys had any specific questions. I didn't catch all of the conversation that you all were having, so if you have a specific question, I'm happy to answer.
I was asking Eric, Barry about it and what was recommended by KASB attorney and by Greg on the changes on the warranty and the sub-guard. Did we make any changes, or is it pretty well the way the original contract you submitted?
Did you catch all
So
that, Barry?
what I do know.
On robotic.
Can you hear me?
Not looking good.
It's currently frozen.
I wish I had been ready for that. I would have shut it.
Did we lose Barry?
I think we might have lost Barry.
We can come back to it too. If we...
Well, he's got another commitment.
Is it on our end or his?
I believe it's on us. Oh, there he is. He's moving now.
Yeah, nice.
Are you back, Barry?
All right, everyone, can you hear me again?
Yep.
Hi, Barry.
Did you catch all of Terry's question?
I did catch it. I did, I think.
I hope so, I don't
So
want
the,
it to repeat it.
as I understood it, the question is, has there been any other changes to the contract for the warranty and the subguard beyond what the KASB template is? And so the contract that you guys see in front of you is a contract that we've utilized on several occasions, that's been reviewed and accepted through, kind of throughout the state of Kansas. And the warranty charges and the SDI is a or competitive nature, and it is, I think we've explained in our presentation, that it is an advantage to the district because it is able to provide some discounted rate as compared to a payment and performance bond on trade partners.
That makes sense to you, Terry?
So it's essentially the same as you presented originally then.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? Concerns? Does anybody want to accept, make a motion to approve the contract?
I'll make a motion that we approve the CMAR contract with McCown Gordon Construction as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to approve the CMAR contract with McCown Gordon Construction. All in favor? All opposed? Very well. Thank you, Barry. Is that all
Excellent.
we-
Thanks, all.
we have?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Barry.
Glad you got to see us.
I do want to give you guys an update. We'll be sending over the GMP amendment for the life safety and utility improvements at the gymnasium here shortly, and that amendment was approved at the last board meeting that we were out there. So you all should see that shortly. And now that we got the contract executed, we can get that signed off on.
One question, Barry. Could we get, that week ago Monday at our meeting, we just received the quotes for the gym and the commons area, and then had to approve the contract that night, or requested to approve the contract that night. Could we not get this information ahead of time so we have a chance to review it before our meetings?
Absolutely. And that was intended to happen on that was intended to happen on the last round. Due to some schedule hangups, we were not able to pull that off. So moving forward, we'll be able to accommodate that and get that well in advance to the group.
Terry, what would you like to see is, like, how soon? Like 2 or 3 days, just before the meeting, like?
Yeah, at least a couple of days.
Okay. Just clarifying, just asking.
That's the goal, is we'll have it to you a couple of days in advance, so everybody will have time to review that packet and formulate any questions.
Fair enough. So that was everything. We will move on to discussion action consent agenda.
Thank you all. I'm going to drop off.
Yeah, thank you, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Bye, Barry.
Does anybody have any questions for the minutes or payment of claim?
Payment of claims.
All right, let's go.
Just some curiosities. One, did the dishwasher ever get installed?
It has been installed. Have you talked to her?
I haven't.
I talked to Vanessa. She kind of thought maybe you guys would ask. the chemicals are not set up yet, is what she called them. I'm assuming that's the soap. But they have assured her that they will get installed and everything ready to go by the 28th, because that's the last day that we'll have our food programs going and using it. So she said that they have not forgotten her.
So it is being utilized currently,
Yeah, I mean,
just without the chemicals.
well, I don't know if they're using it with. I don't think they're using it at all. I think they're doing. Yeah,
Isn't it
Sure.
through Cashway?
yeah,
So-
it's through cash.
So Hobart installed it, but all the chemical and soap and everything's with Cashway, so that's.
So we still haven't gotten to use it.
Yep.
Okay.
But the last
She
day-
said she wants it hooked up so that make sure that there's no problems before the end of the month. So they have assured her that that will happen. So I guess we could send out a email when it happens.
Brought them a little bit
Yeah.
more.
So
And then the other question I have is I see the page 6, not that it matters, it's trivial, but the Dodge Stratus. That car cannot be valued that much. Like, there comes a certain point where if you're putting as much into it as the value of the car,
Is that the driver's?
yeah, that's the driver's ed car.
it's the driver's ed car. Okay, well,
It is.
I'm just asking, at what point do we cut our losses on it?
calling it Dimple. Throw a little bump in it.
I would love to get rid of it. We have that use. So
That's fine. I
I
mean,
mean,
upgrade it or so
yeah,
that it.
honestly,
Have the
when,
crank windows for him and everything.
no idea. I don't know that I've actually.
I got in it to drive it once, and I was like, I'm gonna take my own car. Never
I'd like to
mind.
get rid of that and the minivans.
Welcome back to high school.
I don't
Well,
think-
the minivans we use with the bus drivers. They use those, like, Greg used it to go home instead of putting it on the bus and things. But like the Suburbans are, I mean, I know they don't have a lot of miles on them, but they're starting to show their age and things. So, and that,
Like I said, I just saw that one and I'm like, that car cannot be valued at much more than that price tag.
What's modified in it for driver's ed? Just extended O for the brake?
yeah, there's a brake on there. I don't know what else it would be.
What's it cost to put one of them in your car?
You know.
It's like $600 or $700, $800, couple $100. We do it every year.
So it
No.
comes out
Yeah.
and it goes back in.
Oh, that's no
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, I
Why
say
did
we.
they take it back out then? If
Do
we're
they
used
take
to
it back
say,
out?
I know, I was
Do
like,
they?
that's the only
Huh?
thing we use
Do they
it for.
take it back out?
I thought they
Why
do.
would they?
I don't. Last time I got in to
If
drive
it's
it,
the
it looked
only
like it was
driver's
all
ed
working
car.
over
Oh,
there.
was it? Okay.
I was like,
I know it put in once, because I remember seeing the cost, and I thought I'd seen the cost on it. I apologize if I'm saying that, but
No, I'm not. I'm just, we've had this discussion, I don't know, Terry, what was it, 2 years ago, that we were trying to get on to like keep
$1,200.
on top of
Yeah.
the fleet. And that one stuck out to me
no,
thinking that.
it was a thought this year to go back and look at our vehicles.
What
and,
year is that?
The Stratus?
Well, I haven't made them in how long.
1995? No, I'm kidding.
I have 06 in my head, but that's what the Suburban.
I don't think they made them
It's
for
06. It's 06 and 07.
10, 15 years. It's been a while.
No, I honestly have thought we can't do the transits anymore, but I thought we need to replace the Suburbans. And
I mean,
then,
to be fair, it's a good thing to let them drive a Bo Honky Mobile for their
yeah,
driver's ed. So
and then we've also had internal discussions about like a Traverse type vehicle more for like admin, going to ball games or conferences, things like
Instead of
that.
a 10-person van for one person, you feel a little overdone. Okay, like
What is a Traverse?
Which is like a small
Traverse.
SUV.
It's
Gotcha.
it's like a 3-row SUV. It's a little bigger.
Well, you have the option to drive your own vehicle.
Right, and we do.
which I do.
I think we'll
don't
we'll have more time this year, and there has been a thought of mine to like track our mileage to see how much in a normal year we would use it.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know that we've actually had a normal year since I've even been here. Maybe one or two,
True.
but, it's just huh?
Normal is not coming back.
I don't know, when I was traveling, like, I wanted to drive my own vehicle, I made money off of it.
Oh, yeah, it's good for me when I do it. I know that. But I have wondered about tracking that cost.
If we can get on
My
the
husband
board.
gets mad at me.
Am I supposed to be turning in mileage to go to Oakley?
He probably.
Now you're done.
Goodland pays me to go to Goodland.
Yeah, it might be that you're supposed to turn it into them.
That's
Dylan
why
pays
you
you
take
to
that,
Yeah, I got
they gave you an iPad.
voluntold, but,
That's what happens when you miss July meetings.
yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, not that we wanna continue on it that much longer, I just was asking the question.
No, we put a bunch of money in that, and then was that minivan last summer that we did?
Didn't we get rid of that one?
'Cause I remember it almost seems like Tim was the one who brought it up.
Blue and white
It was the same conversation.
Blue and white van.
Well, we
That
talked
one
about the blue and white, but we can't get rid of it because it's the only
wheelchair.
handicap
Handicap.
accessible. I mean, we can if we got a different one, but
It's something too that I could keep track on to get like a replacement for that one.
yeah, that thing's like a 91.
Yeah. It's a good.
Still runs and goes.
Yep.
Okay. Thank
We had a
you.
local district buy one of our buses once because we didn't really have a use for it, but it had quite a few years left and things.
I had a couple questions too.
Good, good.
On page 1, what is a QB sports wristband?
It's good with all the plays and stuff.
Those are $170
I think
We
they're-
even bought more than one.
I feel like there was
for that
like-
piece of
Vinyl.
How many was in there?
plastic with a sweatband attached to it.
Oh, man.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah.
For the paperback?
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure there was more than one.
Yeah, I think they're in my house. They're in a box. There's at
15
least
or
12 or 24.
15 or 20?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a
Also
little bit
something
more
for
sense.
everybody to have.
Yeah, they're going to.
They aren't using them on a game, do they?
We're online right now.
And what is
12, the single card ones, not the open up multi-layer receipts.
okay? And on page 3, there was this jam.
He's listening right now.
There's 2 of them that are exactly the same.
Which page?
Page 3.
So story on that one, Jamf had, a lot of our technology vendors we deal with have one place where there's their headquarters and then another place where we send all the money to, and they're not clear on that at first when we get the quote and everything.
Okay.
Our accounting software spits out whatever the one address that we put in there when we set everything up. Lori sent the check to the wrong place and redid it, that's why it shows up twice as my understanding.
It was voided. If you look at right before the check number, it's B, that's voided. O is outstanding, R is received.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
canceled.
That just kind of caught my eye. There's
Yeah.
2 of them that are the same.
The high school and they say, Rollins County,
The district.
Yeah, I think it's just a.
so that we can use it anywhere. So we got it from Colby Campus and
Is that what they used for the kindergarten?
well, no, that's what they wanted to use.
Okay.
It was ordered, but it didn't come in time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step in it.
Yeah. So the one that came in time was about $50, and will be used again. But
And they'll pay out of pocket by a year.
teacher paid for that. But this one is the one that took longer to get here than expected. But so yes, the whole district gets to use it. I think we used it at our awards for the elementary.
I think the
and
goal with
then
that is like when you guys
sixth grade
went to
promotion.
A's to the
Is it good heavy duty stuff?
It's amazing.
Is it coming from the Canvas shop? It should be. Okay.
recruiting fair to have like
Yeah.
a one Wednesday high school.
Because we did the recruiting fair in Hayes, and so we had the junior senior high one, so we had a lot of high school teachers come over, but we need one that just is like a blanket Rollins County, so that, but
Okay.
it's one of those stretchy ones instead of just laying, it like stretches around. It's really fancy.
That was all I had.
Any other questions for payment of claims? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda for payment of claims, approval of minutes. Did we do that already? Whatever. At the May 20th regular meeting and June 4th special meeting.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to new business. I have a discussion action of approval of storage container purchase.
So, we didn't get a formal quote to show you, but we called and the single units, the 20-foot ones, they said that they would honor the price that we paid the last time. It comes from, and we're getting clarification on what needs to come out, but, there's quite a bit of stuff in the commons. There's, things in the music room, things like that. Some of it we're gonna go through and just, if it's just like crap that we can't get any funding off of, like any insurance money off of, and things like that, we just need to throw it away. If it's stuff that's not used, I mean, things like that. But just, just needing the storage, and some of it will be stored still for things that we can get insurance money off of. We're needing some space to do all this to get us through that. The two that we bought previously, the scoreboard, I'm not saying it took up the whole thing, because we could get a little bit more into it, but it took up the vast majority. Like, they're in both of them because there wasn't enough room to put like another line of scoreboard, if that makes sense. Like, there's one panel pushed in, there's not enough room in the remainder part to like pack it in. So, we need some additional ones.
Where do you want to put them?
Initially we would put them I guess we would need to talk about that, but we've talked about the south end of the grounds. Maybe even along the fence on the south end.
Just got a slope on it.
Yeah. I know we're preparing the practice, or the junior high practice field to use that.
For storage?
No, to use as a practice field. I could see us initially just putting them by the building and then having them moved. So we don't have that time in there.
No, those are the rental.
Don't have track for a year, put them down where the high jump pit
These are
goes.
just the big 20-foot to have, to keep forever. Oh, to keep? Yeah.
Do we know what's in those pods up there?
And it's a variety of stuff. There's a lot of athletic equipment, music. There's like band uniforms there. There's the whole library. All the library books are in it. Are in one. There's like a couple that look like we just really need to go through it because there's some junk. There's like one that's completely desks in there. There's some with desks, but they're rusted. I mean, you can tell they're rusted from the acid on the soot and everything. That's the type of stuff that we want to go back with the insurance company and argue that we should get money for those. There's some that smell really bad, and that's gonna be an argument. They're gonna say they were cleaned and things. It's just, I don't know that long-term we need all the storage units that will be up there, but I think we're gonna need some space to, accomplish that, which would mean we'd get rid of those rental pods as we can.
What's the plan to, I mean, is there an actual plan defined to get rid of them and to go through them and?
I know, we don't have like a specific date set, because they're not here, but, I mean, as soon as they're there, I know Rob and Jeff are talked about starting to go through the stuff in the, commons, it needs to, we're thinking it'll need to happen pretty quickly, because we don't wanna delay any of the work in the gym and things.
Have you gone through and put in the ag building, or?
Yeah, that works for so long, because we're gonna have class.
I understand that, but I'm saying to get a plan of like
For a portion of the
action.
summer until you get there, yeah.
We haven't talked about moving it like there and then into the pods or anything. I honestly don't know how much space we'll have once demo really gets going. I mean, it shows on the plans driving, that's kind of their driving lane too in front of that.
How long does it take the east to get here?
The two that we ordered, they were there within the week.
Oh,
So they're,
a week.
yeah. I don't think it'll be a problem timing wise.
And you think we need 40 footers?
No, 4 of the 20-foot ones. And he said he would honor the price of $38.95. So that'd be nice.
Did the rest of the equipment get moved out of the restroom room?
The equipment out of the rest.
Out of the weight room.
A weight room?
Yeah, it's out of there.
It's out of there?
Yeah.
It's ready to go as far as demo.
Yeah, they've been taking everything that was left in the building to throw away. That's, if you see their dumpsters, that's what they've been doing. But yeah, a couple of their workers actually helped Jeff, I think on Friday, get the rest of that equipment out.
And they moved that to the.
Right now, well, the boxes I believe are in the war room, and then the equipment's on the floor in the gym.
In the what?
In the gym.
Okay.
They call the old shoulder pad room the war room,
Oh, the.
and where we used to hang the shoulder pads at.
Which is located by the locker room.
Mhm.
It's in the locker room hallway there, yeah.
There's still more stuff to go through to throw away, like everything in there's a lot of stuff left in the little theater, in that storage room off to the south of it. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Like prom closet up top
There's a lot of stuff in there.
south.
Yeah.
Do we just need to move in a dump truck and start throwing stuff out the window into the dump truck?
There could be some of that, yeah. It needs to
I mean, it's
happen.
gonna be.
So that all has to be taken out then?
I need to talk with McCown on that, what exactly we need done, and
You're gonna have to if they're gonna renovate any of that
Yeah.
stuff in there.
On the off
At some
chance
point
that
it'll
things
need
do
to-
go
yeah.
backwards, you don't want it in there. We're not gonna get back in there.
say what? Sorry, that's what you said.
Trying to get everything out, if you can't store certain things cause you think it'd have to be stripped down to as much as it could.
Yeah,
On the off chance that when they do start demolition stuff, knocking things down, that if things do go backwards, there's a chance to save this stuff. You know what I mean? Even though it's all in the gym and all in those areas that should be safe, on the off chance, cause they did talk about that when they did start demolition on that north side, that
we
it,
can't get back in.
you can't get back in there, and what if it did go backwards and they couldn't guarantee
Gotcha.
that the gym would be 100% okay? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it was damaged to the point where we couldn't
Yes.
save it or go back in to get it.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff that it's probably savable, but do we want to save it and things too? There's a lot
But
of that.
once it gets the building separated, then the teachers can go back in and
Mhm.
determine if that closet is something that they want. If it's savable, I mean, a lot of it's fabric, so take that into consideration. Does it need washed? Does it need, like, there's junior high track uniforms up there, like, from like 15 years ago. What do you do with that? There's a lot of uniforms that are not being used that are up there in those areas that.
So going through that stuff, do we need to deem it as surplus like we normally do?
Probably.
I mean, all of it that. Oh, jeez.
It's like the voice from above.
I know. The voice from your past.
So do we need to verify that?
Well, I know since I've been there, we've surplus uniforms, and those ones are done. So
Why are they still there?
we have uniforms to go through and get rid of what we get rid of.
I guess my question is if we deem them surplus, why are they still there?
Just the time to get there and do it, and with the fire.
I think we deemed all that surplus the very, like, not long before the fire last year. Because I think that's when some of our things done here, like in the bathrooms, were deemed surplus also.
Do we still have all that stuff?
Mhm.
So I guess
we have a lot of surplus.
My question is at what point do you know what is actually, how do you keep track, who is keeping track of what was actually deemed surplus and whether we have gotten rid of it or not? At what point and then it leaves a loophole of, did we deem it as surplus or did we not? Has it been here 5 years or has it not been? And what's the point of deeming it surplus if we're not gonna get rid of it?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to
Yeah, I think
be
Jeff
in
and I
charge
have a
of it.
pretty good idea, and I know Rob does too, and Cynthia, but I think it just kind of hit all basically the same time, and then we were trying to, a lot of our surplus, I can't say a lot, some of our surplus actually went to the teachers this last year to reuse, like, some old desks, like teacher desks and things like that went back into rotation.
I guess the other aspect of it that I'm looking at is somebody has to go back through and find what has actually been deemed surplus to do it correctly.
Yeah. I know what's in my building that we deemed surplus from last year. So, I mean, and I don't know whose job that is to remove it from the building at this point.
Somebody has to be the surplus sheriff and start moving this stuff.
It don't do any good. Declare it surplus the day removed.
Mm-hmm.
So then it needs to have a deadline on it every time we make a motion to surplus. It has to be gone at this point. Mm-hmm. And apparently we have to designate somebody to do it. Just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the purchase of the 4 containers at the cost of $15,580.
Whoa.
3 containers.
It's not this one because this is 2 40-footers and it's 4 containers of 20-footers, right?
Yeah. It's just, but this is put in the cost.
So it's the same price as this?
No,
Is
that
this
$15,885?
This is $15,085. This is
okay.
$15,580.
I apologize. I was confused with this paper being 3.
Yeah, I looked at that pretty hard too.
And then we're doing 4 of 20-footers, but this one had 2 40-footers. Okay, my apology.
Oh, I see where you got it.
I was just doing that to show how much we had left from the last quote. That they would honor that price.
There's a motion.
Sorry, Tim.
You're good.
Is there a second to follow Tim's motion?
I second it.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Got it. Okay, there's been a motion and a second to buy 4 20-foot storage containers. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now we are going to talk about a scoreboard. And now we are moving on.
I think, it hasn't come to Jeff or I, but, I think it's been asked around the Dion maybe, when we're gonna install the scoreboard. We got the quote there.
Gotta run power out of the new school.
So the power actually comes from the box. From our understanding, it actually is probably less than the old one. I guess some of the questions. Some of the questions on it, I think, we'd rather move it over here and things, but really the drainage should be done before we do that and things. If we were to install it this year, we'd probably move it more into this area just so it doesn't get in the way of track, like the 200.
Where are you gonna put it?
So if you put it on that side bank, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, just like on the front of it. Yeah, just with it being bigger, have it a little bit further
You're
away.
they're worried about drainage on that?
Well, just,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, there's drainage. I mean, we had the flooding a year ago and things, and there's been some talk of cleaning that out to help with that.
Okay.
And things. It's just kind of wanted to get some clarification from the board if you want us to pursue getting it done this summer. It probably need to come over here in this area somewhere. If we want to hold off, we can. It's just.
Well, I don't think we need to do it twice.
Mm-mm.
And I also think that need to reach out to some more places at this point and see if there's some other people interested in installing it.
Less than $40,000.
40.
Is it
What?
80.
It was 80?
To install it?
Yeah.
Oh.
80 and some change.
It was like 82.
I'll do it for
84.
70.
Do we have that in our budget?
If you want to do it.
You're gonna help me with energy throw it in there?
Sure.
I agree that it needs to be a
Should be a
plan
one-time
of
thing.
where it's going and not just,
I never
hey,
thought
let's just
about
put it
being on
up
that
and
side
get
hill.
going, and then down the road we go, why did it put it there?
And I'd like to see some more bids on it.
Yes,
Cause
absolutely.
who was the bid from?
It was a Colby sign.
How
It
many,
was just an estimation of how much it would cost.
Well, I've got, never mind.
It wasn't a formal bid, it was just an estimation.
how many home games are we gonna be able to have there?
This year we're scheduled for
None, sounds
3
cool.
varsity, and then I don't know how many JV or junior high. It'd be like 3 or 4 junior
Yeah,
high,
without
and
a
then,
scoreboard.
huh?
So you can't have any without a scoreboard.
Tim, they'd make you be Vanna.
I can do it. It's upside down.
I will say, in going with Tim's comment, I mean, Gary told us probably 2 years ago, maybe 3, that those were the last light bulbs they could find for that. And he thought we had another season there. So,
Might be able to rob out of the down marker to feed the time clock.
I think we need to get a plan of
Information.
what we want
Yeah,
and
that's what I was saying,
more
where we actually
estimates.
put it. If it's that big, does it just need to be at the end over there on the north side of the high jump pit that is not square with the world?
Or does it need to go on the other end?
Or does it need, hey, there you go. Put it on the south end.
We have talked about that. It would,
Cause there's no parking down there anymore.
There's nothing down there to,
Didn't they say there was parking on that last shenanigans, the last
Like
conversation we
8
had?
spots maybe,
there will
Right.
be on the, up on the hill.
basically no parking.
Right. Kind of
Uh,
sour.
Block off no street.
No parking where?
they're gonna keep
Let's
the
talk
parking.
about that.
What, hey,
See, I thought they were keeping the
where are
parking.
you
They're
saying no
keeping-
parking
They're
where?
keeping the parking here.
That's not my understanding of when we
Yeah.
talked about it, because
Oh,
the
yeah.
playground's
Yeah.
going there.
Because the play, but they said,
The
No,
playground's coming back here. It's just, that's where they showed it this way just to,
but they
show
talked
us
about a
that-
basketball court and all that stuff.
We probably want to bring that up again, and look at that. 'cause
I'm 100% positive they were adamant about keeping the parking. They knew,
It might
they
not
knew
be-
how important it
they may not have the parking right here, but they're keeping the parking for the spots that are along
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
I'd
how
like
I
to see that in a drawing again.
I mean, he said it like.
I like they put it on
I'd
there
like it
because
6
they're-
times. I mean,
spot
I'd
on.
still like to
Okay.
see it in the drawing.
It's a,
Yeah, I think they don't have a final drawing on
No.
what's happening up there. I think they're waiting to.
I mean, they're talking parking over here that I think will more than take care of it.
Just gotta put one on the backside too.
How many parking spots would even be on that side?
On what? On this?
There's lots
No,
of parking
on
up
the-
there if there's no trailer
There
houses.
is a lot of parking over there without the,
I mean, they have them numbered for
I know.
purchase, so.
That's the box seats that they have up there.
Mhm.
I know what it is, but it's just if we're gonna have, I mean, honestly speaking, if we are gonna have kids over there with playground, that's gonna be shut off. There's absolutely no reason to worry about parking on that side anyhow either then.
How far does it?
It's not gonna
this
happen
way?
very often that you have a football game at the same time they're gonna be having playground time.
I know.
I counted 18 or 19 of these.
I just
Yeah,
put
I
a
mean,
display
that's
on it at
just-
night when they're gone.
that's, yeah.
And then I would
Say it's probably
10
close
more.
to 30
Yeah.
the whole way to them, but
Because it goes all the
No
way
different
around.
Yeah.
than-
I
It
know
goes
that.
all the way down.
We will probably lose some of this here, or we will lose this, because the gym's gonna be here for the games, but.
I feel that we need to get several bids to install the school board, and I think we need to wait, with a little more planning of where the location of it needs to be.
Let's not spend money twice.
Oh, I agree. I wanted to, if the board wants to get it this summer, we need to get on it. If we wanna hold off till we get some of that at planning, I don't know that we need bids yet on it.
I think that's the least of the problems we need to deal with.
I agree. I
We should
think
take a survey.
Oh my gosh.
Please don't talk about the survey. No more
I
surveys.
think we have enough things on our
Yeah, I'd
plate
like to
right
see more.
now, but
the construction get started on the
see
school
where everything lands.
and see where we're at money wise and I mean, it could get worked into the scope of the project. Is that correct?
Possibly, yeah.
So what are our options for it? North end, south end, on the side hill?
The gas
If you
line.
put it on there, put,
In front of the
the problem
bleachers.
with putting it on the side hill over there, if you get your angle wrong, the visiting team's not gonna be able to see the stuff if you get it too
Right.
far to the east.
I think it's more in the wind up there too. It's all the way up the hill.
I don't
Yeah,
really,
yeah, I wouldn't wanna put it all the way at the top of the hill.
I don't really see it necessary to put it on the north side of the track. I think it probably just needs to go about where it's at, but like I've said to you before, I would like to see it more of 2 signs, all those sponsors, maybe put those over on the west side of the high jump pit there. And then the scoreboard, where the scoreboard's at. So you got 2 signs
How
that are
how
both smaller.
how long is it? How
It's
many
like
feet?
It's 36.
35 by 40,
I was gonna say
Get on there.
29 by 36 is what's in my head.
30 by 40.
I know the south end, there's the electrical, we'd have to run the electrical over there. That would be the,
Is the electrical on the north end adequate?
Yeah, they said it.
Took less
Gary
work.
thought it would be less. They would need less.
And probably if it's LED lights.
Hmm.
The LED lights.
So I think we're all kind of in agreement to just,
I am gonna talk with Gary to see if he can find something for the scoreboard to just kind of recheck for the light bulbs and to some of the scores last year. I remember the last game there's some
It was
controversy.
questionable. What is the score? There's the missing light bulb.
Why can't it be just where it's at?
I
Can
think
you
there's
measure with that?
Would it
Like your,
be too big?
how
I don't
wide?
have a problem with
Is there space for that?
that's what I'm saying. I think just leave it where it's at.
I think we were a little worried that the starter for the 200 it would get in the way of it.
That's the current issue with it right there too, is the time system doesn't just fire off correctly when they get.
So why does the high jump have to be center with the track or the football field then?
Well, you
It's
might mess with
asphalt.
somebody's OCD.
It's crooked now. It's already.
I would guess it's 20 feet.
I mean, it's already crooked
18 or
already,
20 feet.
so
Okay, so
I mean,
then
you might
double that, right?
and both fit
Yeah, it's gonna be
right
at least
between them.
We wanted the doors moved over 6
It's gonna
inches
be
to be
like
centered with
twice as
that.
wide and twice as tall.
36 feet.
Games in the sun. Before the sun goes down, the sun in the west, you can't see the
At the worst.
ridge go
Oh,
more
it
than
wasn't another one.
How big is the one that's there now?
It was,
That's what
18 feet?
yeah,
is 18 or 20. It says
And
19, but
double.
my
Is it?
wife-
I can't even see it there.
Yeah, and she pulled it up and it's 36 feet. 36 feet
Okay.
by.
So it's gonna double.
By
It's gonna double
29
what's
and a
there.
half,
What's
but
there.
then, well,
It's still fit there. But if it's
I thought
more.
that was with the.
29 and a half inches, so
Well,
I'd
if
say
we
about
moved it a
12
little
and
bit,
a half feet.
if we moved it a little bit to the west, got it out of the road of the,
Do we wanna just wait till
Gun
we
guy,
get farther
starter.
along?
Yes.
Don't worry about it this year.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Somebody else.
We will discuss it at another meeting again
Table.
later,
Table it to another month.
Back order.
Back order.
in a year.
Back order.
Okay. Moving on, administrative reports.
All right. So I have several things to talk about here. The kids committee, it's the bond campaign committee, first met on Wednesday. There weren't the total of 30 there, just because of ball games and things like that. But we're thinking it'll be close to 30 involved. Next meeting will be on Friday, and the campaign will start around June 5th.
July 5th.
July 5th, excuse me.
It's gonna happen. July will happen.
There we go. That's fixed right now. Staff floor plan meeting, all staff were invited to give input on the floor plan of the new building. The architects were here for that and asked for feedback from staff. A lot of it was like what they would want in their rooms, like as far as storage. There's a conversation on sinks and things like that. They're taking the information and they'll be back here at a future board meeting to kind of, apply what they've had onto that to show you guys. Let's see here, demo update. The work continues on removing the architectural stone. I think they've made pretty good progress on that part of it. As far as we know, what they've been telling us, very few have been broken on those. They've been working through removing the contents and asbestos material. They did get delayed a day or two because they found some. I think it was like an additional layer of it that they weren't really in. Like there was some, and then they took that off, and then it was another layer. So that was supposed to delay separation a couple days, but it won't delay the gym work, which I think is supposed to start next week, I believe. And then just today, they were up on the roof working on peeling things back or the roof back, and then if you look at Mrs. Klein's room, there's a big hole in the side of it now. So I didn't.
That's to work on the buffer zone first.
Yeah, that's to do the separation so that we can get in there to do the work. Yeah, property insurance, doesn't sound like the underwriters for the KSAB insurance is gonna work out. So the Conradi Group, they've been working like as our agent to secure a policy in the open market. They've applied to 3 different places for us. They're talking next week is when they should get it back and have information, to us. One thing here is kind of a discussion item. I've been asked by Modular or by Box a time or two now, about that second contract. And the second contract was just for a year. We had the 4 classroom, the 2 classroom, and the locker room. And they're asking if we're gonna plan to renew. Those I would recommend that we do, just with the classroom space and then with what we've approved so far. Insurance will take care of it, and things. So I guess I don't see why we wouldn't at this point. I think we have the need for it. So if there's any discussion that you guys want to have on that.
Is that something you want done tonight?
No, well, I think just if we're in agreement, then I can just tell them to write up the contract for us to go another year.
I don't know that we got another option at this point, do we?
Did the insurance extend our time?
So the insurance adjuster did talk with Jeff, and it sounds like they're gonna extend our time by about 6 months for the due to the dump.
So what does that leave our time frame at?
So August, so that would be February of 26. So that would get us through both of these through the contract. If we extend this one, then that would set us pretty good with if we're able to move in to if everything's successful and we're able to move in within the time frame we've talked about, the January, excuse me, of 26. So that would work out pretty well.
I got a question. That contract we approved a week ago Monday, McCown Gordon for the $439,000 for the gym package, is that covered under our, what do you call it, auxiliary insurance?
Anything that's temporary work, we can go and get more. We should be able to get more insurance money off of. Anything that is permanent, that's included in the in the lump sum that we've already got.
Well, I mean, that's getting electricity to the gym,
There should be some
utilities, the asbestos removal and so on.
Yeah, we just need to have that.
But you don't know where it's covered by that or will be covered.
I need to get the numbers from McCown on what's temporary and what's.
I mean, like where we were talking the electrical transformer being out front, right? And we said that that's going to be temporary. So would that not be covered by? Hey,
Of
this
course.
is just a temporary.
Got a
service?
question on that one. Did we ever decide if it's actually temporary?
Yeah, they came back in our meeting on Wednesday and they said that the front location will be the temporary spot, and then there'll be a spot I think on the north side that's the permanent.
So I mean, that would be a question to ask. Can that be covered? Because that was a big.
I just need the breakdown from them on what's temporary and what's permanent.
Is that cleared up? Clear as mud?
Well, we don't know yet.
Don't know.
No, we don't know yet, but yeah, that's what it would, anything to.
So we can work towards trying to
Yeah.
get some of that covered.
Mhm. And I'd like to work through some of that demolition too, to go, I mean, there's, some of that scope is beyond what really the building being taken, I mean, the 1925 part is what the insurance has said is unusable again. So the buffer area is on us, but the extra cost with that, with the main part, we need to get more on from them too.
I have a question on the bond campaign. Is there cards or literature that's being presented that will be produced?
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Is that like, does it go through the board or is it just, this is what it is and we don't see it before it's presented?
Greg, are you on? No, Greg's not here. That'd be a question for Greg. I agree.
And how much is it going to cost? I mean,
Well, the campaign has, I mean, if it's the yes campaign part of it, the school can't fund, we can't put on our website, all we can put on our facts.
All you
So
can
that
say
would
is
be,
vote on.
yes.
If it's anything, say yes, it has to be a private entity, donator, that. And
so the
then,
board won't have any say in that.
no, not necessarily. And then what he did say was that if it's like when we have the, school sign up, they can put a remember to vote sign out front, but nothing that says yes, and it can't be within a certain, area, like it can't be certain
close to-
proximity to the school and.
But we can't put, like, we're fortunate where our polling location is because we don't have, it's not here. And so we couldn't, like,
You can't
polling
even make
location was
copies
here,
and
we
stuff,
can't have a
otherwise
sign on the
things
front,
start getting-
Can you
basically.
meet here?
Can they meet here? That was a question too.
I mean.
No, it's a valid question because
I think that's one of those that's not totally clear.
it's pretty gray.
And
So,
then how the information's being presented.
They had, cards, they had the trifolds, they have the ones that are gonna go out in the mail that are like the whole map and everything that's being, sent out.
Does it have like the bond information on it?
Social media also.
So that brings up my next question of the whole bond. I'd like to have a in-depth discussion on that one because the bond was presented on figures based off of a 1% increase, right?
1%. Oh, the sales tax?
1%
The
increase.
sales tax?
Via the county, valuation,
Valuation, 1% increase.
right?
annual
1% increase annually throughout for the period of the bond.
Right.
Am I wrong on that? Is that how it was presented by, Piper Sandler?
That's what they estimated numbers off of,
Okay, so
On the
my concern,
valuation or the sales tax?
on the
Both.
valuation.
but the valuation of it is my question at hand. So it's based off of a 1% increase, and right now, this year, our county valuation has decreased by more than 1%. That brings it's a concern of mine. The first year, we don't even have the bond, and it decreased in value. And it's being presented as it's increased. So that's not a factual thing. It is not a fact that we are presenting it as a 1% increase.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I mean, when he was here, I mean, he was saying, it's gonna go up and down. Some years goes up, some years go down. I think over time, it averages out to that 1%.
I understand that, but I don't like it being presented as a 1% increase based off of a 24
I don't
or
think
32 mil, and then
I
it
don't
goes
think any
down.
of us have said that it's like that. I don't think that's been done. I got the numbers.
Can you make that bigger? Yeah, say Jeff.
I mean, I get your point of, it's going down, but how else do you
No.
How else do you say it without saying sometimes it's gonna go up, sometimes it's gonna go down?
You're right. I agree 100%. My concern is the understanding and being very clear on that if the valuation goes down, the mill levy goes up. Am I wrong on that?
Okay, so you just.
I want it to be very clear that what's projected and what we're being told and what we're stating is very clear on how this works.
Well, if sales tax goes down, it's the same scenario.
So this is what we were estimated for. It's approximately $53 million for our evaluation. It wasn't presented to us that way, so I have to verify it.
I think and I don't want to take over what you're saying, but, you know, that question I was asked to the bonding agent. If the sales tax revenue drops, then mill levy goes up. If assessed valuation drops, mill levy goes up. Well, nobody can anticipate what, the sales tax is gonna bring in annually, no more so than they can project out exactly what, assessed valuation is gonna be. I mean, you know, as I've said before, ag values control, along with oil and gas and public utilities, control the assessed valuation.
So
ag values are gonna change every year. All valuations are gonna change every year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it works.
And it depends on, you know, the price of oil and the production. So I guess, you know, when you look at it, you can project out today 24 mills or 24.25 mills. If all this goes down, before it's all said and done in 3 years, then it may be 27 mills, 26 mills. But it ain't gonna be any less than 24.25 because that's where it's gonna be set.
So
So if the valuation goes up, you're just paying it off faster, you're saying?
Yep.
So the estimated assessed val as of July 1, 52,343,000. I mean, so it's, the estimate is basically the same. There's a difference between the general value between the two, but that's not what it's based off of. That's just for the general fund. And honestly, that just helps our taxpayers because the state takes care of it. They make up the difference on what we have for the general fund. So we just send them 20 mills and then, but our budget is set, our general fund is set by our student numbers, so the state makes up the difference.
Well, the mill levy that we're talking about is LOV.
Right.
I believe Matt's point is that just wants to be able to be prepared to explain this to people how it works, right?
Well, that
and how
there's a good chance
possibility of which way it goes, what happens.
In our current scenario, the mill levy's going to be higher.
Right. The problem
because the valuation has went down.
And in my business, you know, you can explain it. You can explain whatever you're trying to explain to somebody, but you can't understand it to them either. So, you know, you can explain it all you want, but what are they going to understand?
Well, the question is, I mean, you know, it's transparency. If you look at those charts on if you got $100,000 house, this is what's going to increase your taxes.
Right.
Well, that ain't, you know, necessarily true. And people need to understand that it goes up, or it goes on it, then the reason of why it went up.
What I'm saying, explaining it and understanding it to somebody
Well,
are
but
two different things.
No one's wrong in any of these scenarios, other than the fact that it's better to put that information out there so that when this does come to fruition, because at some point these things are going to change, that everybody at least has the opportunity to attempt to understand it versus You didn't tell us anything.
That's right.
And from Piper Sandler's standpoint, and I don't have that in front of me, so I'm kind of going off memory. It's based on 32 point something mils, roughly, because they take that figure is taking out of the sales tax is taking off of that. But if you figure it in there, that 1% increase every year is part of his calculation. I'm pretty confident in saying that.
Do you know what the 30-year, what we've done the last 30 years on evaluation?
I haven't went back and I don't have that in front of me.
He's told us that that's a very conservative number over the.
Well, they're sure they're gonna say it's conservative. You know, that's the position they're in. The question becomes, you know, the 32 mills, what is the sales tax gonna drop at 8 mills? And, you know, all of this is unknown, and people need to know that it can fluctuate several mills. But, you know, is it gonna be any promotion to the fact of what it's gonna cost people, mill levy wise and so on? Or, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people who send materials on, but it is a lot of people that isn't. Material as far as the taxes increase they're gonna receive.
I guess what I'm getting at is one thing that my understanding is that we've presented different numbers from how much it's going to cost you a year, right? Well, when push comes to shove and that increases significantly, I don't want to be in the scenario of, well, it wasn't clear and you just got to pay it.
Terry, I'm gonna ask you, because you know so much about this, but like on $100,000 home, like what would be the equivalent of 1 mil? Like, so that we could say
11.5 assessed valuation, and 1 mil times that, that's $110.
right, but if it goes like, let's say, so we're saying that it's 24 mils, but it increases to 25 mils. What's the difference between that 1 mil? Like, how much will that increase? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I can't do it in my head. One bill is not gonna make that much of an impact. I mean, it'd be probably a few dollars. I mean, the key is, and you know, it's probably not a possibility that you're gonna see a drastic reduction in sales tax or assessed value. But it's always a possibility it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that 24 mils has been stated, right, in presentations to the community. Right?
Right, but what I'm saying is then if we need to tell people that it could fluctuate, we need to have a number to go along with it, so they know what.
Well, I mean, it's also your personal responsibility to do your own due diligence on how this works as well.
Well,
It will change it.
It's being able to answer.
That, what I'm getting at is I don't like it being presented as just 24 mils, that's what it's at, because the mindset is that this is what I'm going to be paying.
It could be stated that this is what it's currently at, but can vary.
And that's why
And
you
then
put
it
the
would
dollar
be that
figure
due
with it,
diligence.
so you know where it's at.
People knowing where it's at. However, it's best, it would be best in our interest to say this is where it's at now, but it fluctuates based on the situation within our county.
Yeah, but I mean, I that all goes without saying. In my
Well, I know
opinion.
that, but common sense isn't that common either, so you
Well,
gotta.
I know, but you can't be overseers of everybody's thoughts either. So,
No, but I'd rather be on the position of at least
Alright.
we've put the information out there versus.
and I don't think we're not. I don't think we're trying to hide anything.
No,
No,
I
I
don't think
wouldn't
that's
say that.
anything Matt was saying or anybody said, it just
Well,
based it as this is where we are now and this will fluctuate, and then we've covered our tookuses. And it
Sure.
can all be adjusted as the economy changes it, and if people pay attention, kudos, and if not, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, we lost 664,000 in valuation, then we lost another 15,000 or so for getting the Shaolin 3%.
Those numbers were based off of us getting 95% of it.
Do what?
The sales tax numbers were based off of us getting 95% of the.
Well, I thought it was based on 520,000. It's what sales tax brought in last year.
Yeah, it is, but he was basing. I asked him to base those off of us taking 95% of the funds, and then getting 5%. I was just trying to get something to him to guesstimate. So we
the go ahead.
I
You have more reporting.
Yeah, I have a little bit more. The budget workshop was on Thursday. Not a lot of changes, but SPED funding is increasing. It's very complicated. That's all I can say. I'm not sure I quite have a grasp of how that's all going to work. At risk, I think what's happening is we're getting a lot of questions because that's a pretty good chunk of money. And I think there's a lot of questions from legislators on that. And so,
I was actually gonna talk about that in my report too, so.
Okay.
I do the at-risk funding, when I fill out the LCP. And, they have me go by like 9 different indicators that determines a student is considered at risk. So that's like high absenteeism, has been retained, not meeting, benchmark on different state assessments and things like that. There's a whole like all sorts of them. They added one this year, and I don't know if it's 100%, but we have to do a screening for dyslexia, and so one of their new ones that they added this year was if they had been flagged for dyslexia. So there's like 9 different indicators that the state makes us like keep track of why we've said that this student is an at-risk student. So, and none of them, like going into it, I had assumed it was, free and reduced lunches. Has nothing to do with it. So it's all those different ones. So.
Kind of on that. And I think
Dyslexia is a new one, isn't it? Because that's the one that they didn't want to put in there before.
Yep. So that's brand new that was on my list this year. So.
And that's kind of goes back to they're asking for more and more of that, and I think that's what we're gonna have to show that a lot differently in the future. Right now, at risk is only calculated by the number of free lunches you have, and then there's one of those multipliers. And that's kind of where it's hurt us. We've had less free lunches this year, and so that's going to change. They have a pilot program, and I think if our situation wasn't what it is now, it would probably be good to get out in front of it. But I don't think we want to be a part of it with what we got going on. One thing that is to think about. I don't know if it's fiscal year 27 or they have to have it done by the legislative year of 27. But our whole finance formula will be under review. I think it was 2017 when they did that, and they put it as a 10-year process. Then it has to be renewed. Now they could come back and say keep it as what we have in law, or they could mess around with it. I personally think that they'll try to mess around with it to try to get it reduced.
So they have to pay less.
Yeah. So I think that's something we just gotta look at and see what's gonna come. I would guess the, legislative session in 2026 will be one to watch big time. So, just tomorrow, they're having a special legislative session, for tax cuts. There sounds like there's an agreement in place and shouldn't take very long. I just added they're also working on the STAR bonds for Chiefs and Royals.
So we can give them tax breaks.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I hear you.
Give them tax breaks so that they don't have to pay taxes to help the schools fund.
Mm-hmm. So.
See, they can come wash dishes.
Give them tax breaks if they donate 15% of their income to the school funding projects and it gets distributed to every school.
Time to start throwing the tea over.
Crap.
We're gonna have to have a special meeting probably next week or very early the week after, because we're gonna have to, once we get the quotes for the property insurance, and then we're gonna have to close the fiscal year. Just on a note on that, the closing the fiscal year is very hard for us to do it right now, just because we have payroll this week and things like that. We can't, it'd be really hard to project right now. Like our balances and what we have to transfer and all that. So that's why we have to do that special meeting. I believe that's all I have.
You bring all the fun.
I know.
Don't you? All the joy.
Hey Eric, I got a question.
Sure.
And not in a harassing way or anything, but there's a superintendent's meeting happening in Oakley.
Uh-huh.
Do you go to that?
I have before. I didn't go this year.
Okay.
What's going on? The first half of the year, absolutely not. There wasn't any way I could get to it. The second half of the year, I even signed up for it a couple times, and then we had things come up. It's something I enjoy going to, and
that's fine.
I wasn't able to go this year, which I don't like.
I get a little bit of a report from them down there in Oakley on what they go over a little bit, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm. I like going to that stuff because it helps us see what others are doing and see what's coming. I've told you that I'm behind on some of this legislative stuff this year, and that's where I get a lot of it.
I know we got crazy going on, but you guys can't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Just for yourself.
Right.
Sometimes a minute away from the chaos is a little refreshing.
Where do you find that?
The bathroom by yourself.
Might take more than a minute. Any other questions for Eric? Who's next?
I don't know, is Jeff still on?
Jeff's still on.
Jeff, can't you hear me?
I can do mine.
Okay.
Our summer food program has been very well attended. We start up until the 28th of June, I believe, so it's been staying busy. So we rolled over to the new year in Power School with Chandler and Susie, and it went pretty good this year. So we're ready for the new school year to get kids enrolled and set up some classes and schedules for next year and get teachers assigned to what class they're teaching and things like that. It's very detailed. It's a lot of fun. Pull out your hair a little bit, but it's good. We've had several webinars with the new Apogee platform. So our next one will be on Friday at 11. Basically learning how to put out not power announcements, but what are we going to call them?
Thrill shares.
Thrill shares.
Thrilling.
Thrill share is the. So we tried one out, found a couple hiccups. We have a lot of, I think, crossed over with cell phone versus work phone versus home
Came from
phone.
Arkansas, to my
Yes, and so our new power announcements will be coming from Arkansas.
It doesn't record what people say to it, does it?
Asking
I
for a
don't know,
friend.
asking for a friend. So, yes, we're learning that. They're working on our webpage. Yes, possibly a little bit. So,
I can bring it to life if you want to see it.
of our webpage.
Oh, website.
A website. He'll bring that up. Dishwasher update. Hopefully we'll be done by the 28th. I'm working on getting the backpack food program back up and running. We kind of let it slip away during COVID. There's something up with like delivery. They couldn't do, I don't know if it was because it was face to face, what happened, but we have been reactivated and we'll be getting that going back up in September. So, and I don't know if you remember that program. It's basically there's an entire backpack full of food home with certain students that need it, and it's very
Whoa.
child friendly, where they can go home and eat it. Like there's no cooking required. It's just eat and go. I talked about the at-risk documentation. I have to track all of our elementary students, 193 of them, where I go through every single one of them and document what part of their situation is at risk or not at risk. So that goes, I can do that after we do the rollover, because then it pulls like our absentee reports and different things like that I can see. Basically, if you have missed more than 10 days of school, you are considered chronically absent from school. So then that's what goes into the state, goes into our school report card on if we have students showing up to school.
10 days.
That's it. That's all you get.
10 days.
Put that.
Can be excused,
My-
but it
I
still
get that.
shows up
Microphones are
as
on.
absentee. So
I get that in the first week.
The first week.
morning and afternoon.
Uh-huh.
I'm waiting for the fiscal year to be finished so that I can do my reports for basically the carryover for title funds on what we didn't use this last year and different things, so that I can get that ready for next year and do my annual report. And I think that's due June 30th. So I'll be getting with Emily as soon as she's ready. So, but that's what I've been up to. And you showing us the new.
Yeah, this is the new design that they have.
Looks like the old.
A little bit. Those are not our students or our school.
I was gonna say, put that on the website. That'll stir some
Wait a second.
knock her out of hornet's nest a little bit.
So basically, when we upload something, it'll go straight to that, and then it'll kick it out to Facebook and
Yeah.
everything right there. So. One-stop shop, right?
Literally.
Thrill share.
Thrill share. We're not gonna get a
That one.
power announcement. We're gonna get a thrill share.
I think they've been working on getting stuff kind of imported over, so.
Will it come from a different number every time, or will it just be?
So this page you're showing is, sorry.
Mm-hmm. So many
Go
questions.
ahead.
Will it come from a different number? I don't know. That's a good question. Let's spam everyone that we
can do it
know
right now
and see if it comes to the same
Oh my
one.
gosh. Welcome to the thrill share.
We also learned with that, if a parent has like their office work phone listed in there, we learned this with Melissa and her kids, that if we do that, with Power School Power Announcements, they would only just send it to one.
Mhm.
No, after G Thrill Share sends it to like all of them.
All
So
of
we're
them.
like, ooh, maybe
So,
we
like-
should go figure this out
Tweak it
first
a little.
before
Yeah,
we send
so-
it.
We're gonna learn a lot this summer, and then when it comes to enrollment, we can
Get me number.
You all right?
we'll get all sorts of numbers in there. No. Hopefully we'll have it weeded down to what we need it to be, so that so the secretaries are all involved in it, and then whoever's doing enrollment will have an idea of what we click and don't click.
So that page you were showing, is that something that everybody has their own portal for that or something? Or
No,
what was
that's more of like the back end stuff, like what we'll see. And so
oh, this is what you.
this is what we see.
Like the secretaries and whoever's putting out the announcement.
Why?
It's,
And it has different levels of like, you can put, like, some people have certain access levels to certain things and
Level of the thrill.
Mm-hmm.
different levels of thrill.
Do you want to email, a voicemail, and a text? Thrilling.
Okay.
5 out of 5. Don't recommend. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, that's what I have.
we need to keep that on our app
Somebody
and stuff, and we can send stuff out there too, so if you don't have a kid in here, you can still know what's going on in the district, so. It'll be good.
Any other questions for Lacey and her reporting?
One question. Is there anything here at the elementary school that should be a priority this summer? That is planned to try to get done?
Well, as in like upkeep of our buildings.
Yep.
I think like we're
Oh, boy.
more day to day. I don't know. I mean, if we're talking plumbing, I don't know if that's something that we can even consider biting off. But like our gym, that's gonna get redone August 7th and 8th.
That flooring,
8th or 9th.
that
Yeah.
chunk,
Well, I think they're
get
just
resurfaced everything.
they can't completely redo
Yeah.
anything. They just have to
Yeah.
finish the top.
Well, yeah, because those chunks were
New
coming
coat
off.
of finish.
Yeah. So,
They can't sand that one again or the nails will come out.
but I mean, right now the custodians
Back in our day, we just played.
they're working hard on getting everything up and
Could have
going for
worse
the
than
next
the
year.
playground out north.
Could've come.
Technology, it's Chandler's.
We're not today.
Sorry. I know that they rearranged the smart board for me so that one of our new teachers would have a new smart board instead of the couple like 3-year-old smart board. So they've done things like that. So. Yep.
Very good. Jeffrey, your turn.
My-
Yeah.
I don't have a whole heck of a lot to add. You know, I've been involved with a lot of what Eric's been talking about as far as things going on at the building. And you know, we did our report and rolled up well. Got all that done. We are finishing up driver's ed. Can you guys hear me okay?
No.
No?
Quit pacing.
Depends on the sentence.
It's real choppy.
Bye.
Oh. I'm up in Kearney wrestling camp, high school wrestling camp. So on my phone, so I apologize if it's choppy. But like I said, I don't have a whole lot to add to what Eric and Lacey reported.
I didn't know you were still wrestling.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
You don't want to know.
I don't.
I was gonna say something. All right, thanks, Jeff. Any questions for Jeffrey? All right. Does anybody need to use the restroom or break? I could. I would.
Okay. Are you wanting me to make a motion for you? I move that we have a personal needs break for 5 minutes.
For everybody.
For everybody, not just Mr. Dunker. Is there a second? You'd think you'd second that if you need it.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Yeah. Motion and second. 5 minutes. That's it. All in favor? All opposed?
Call it back to order,
Yeah.
Gordon.
Let's go.
Okay, there we go. Back in order,
Yeah, we did okay on it.
back in regular session. That's what I meant to say.
Abstract. Back in order.
Back in order.
We're back in order.
Order.
Is that Sampson?
We will
clocking in
move
again?
on to non-elected personnel, executive session for non-elected personnel. Who and what do you want?
Board and admin. This first one should only take like 5 minutes.
Board and admin for 5 minutes.
Should.
It shouldn't take very long.
Did we skip one?
No, this is 268.
I move we go into executive
Okay.
session with board and admin
Alright,
for
yeah.
non-elected personnel for 5 minutes.
I second it.
I'm second it.
I'll second it. There's been a motion
In 3 seconds.
in 3 seconds to go in executive session for 5 minutes, board and admin, non-elected personnel. All in favor? All opposed? we are back in regular open session. Call it back to order. Is there a motion to be presented for approval of resolution 24006?
Let's read this whole thing. Okay, I move for a motion for final action of the Board of Education in regard to the non-renewal of a teacher's contract. Whereas on the 13th day of May 2024, the Board of Education of Unified School District Number 105, Rollins County, Kansas, by resolution duly adopted, took action to notify Jason Dalton of the board's intent to non-renew his contract as a teacher for this district for the 2024-25 school year. And whereas pursuant to that resolution, the clerk of the Board of Education gave written notice to Jason Dalton on or before May 17, 2024, that it was the intent of the Board of Education to non-renew his contract for the 2024-25 school year. And whereas after extensive consideration and thorough discussion, the board has determined that the matter should be resolved as indicated. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of Unified School District Number 105, Rollins County, Kansas. Section 1, that the contract of Jason Dalton be non-renewed for the 2024-25 school year. Section 2, that the clerk of the Board of Education give Jason Dalton a signed copy of this resolution in person or by United States mail, adopted by the Board of Education of Unified School District Number 105, Rollins County, Kansas, the 17th day of June 2024.
Do I have a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. What Amber read to us. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Yes. Sign it down. Sign it off. Pass it around. That's all.
Take one down, pass it around. You were going to.
Probably not a bad idea.
Oh, my stars.
Trying to take it
The older I get, the less I
It's
can.
up there. We're gonna have that table downtown that says this is the way we
Okay, next up. Another executive session, non-elected personnel hires, resignations, retirements, transfers. Is it needed?
It's
Who?
needed.
Who or Nadia? Probably 15 minutes.
Probably.
Your man.
Alright. We'll go into executive session for admin for 15 minutes for non-elected personnel. Negotiations.
No,
Just non-elected personnel.
There's a motion. There's a second. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Did you say 15? 15.
I did.
7.
anybody?
Just yours.
I won't stay for long, there might be the discussion after, but no, I don't know. Just take 10 for
Go to executive session, board admin for 10 minutes. Or conflict personnel, hire. I'll second that.
Alright, motion and second for all in favor? All opposed? Carried.
let's bring this to order. Back in regular session. Does anybody want to explain what we just talked about with a motion?
We can add that. We'll just, no, just the hire, the two hires, the two resignations.
I move that we accept the resignations of Aaron Ginther, our junior high ELA teacher, and Josiah Jones, bus driver. Oh, and hire, summer technology help Jeremiah Lair.
Yeah.
Who? Oh, and hire Tony Colwell, assistant basketball coach girls. Oh, it's not up there, right? I'll second that.
Okay. Motion to hire and accept resignations.
With much appreciation to Aaron Ginther and Josiah.
Absolutely.
Tony.
Assistant high school girls basketball. To my
Very good.
colleagues.
All in favor? Raise your hand. All opposed? Raise your hand. Motion carries.
Is it Terry's now?
Nope.
I was gonna try.
You can make the motion.
Okay, we got negotiations. How long do we got? Just 5 minutes worth. I know that there's a lot of this.
This is on the executive session, board and admin, 5 minutes for negotiations, chats.
Motion,
Second.
there's a second. All in favor? All opposed?
I meant to get in here.
Get in there. Come on. Come on. All right, back in regular session. Is there a motion to be presented for renewal of classified staff contracts? Anybody? Just once.
Okay, Mr. President, I move we renew contracts for classified staff as presented. Okay, Mr. Vice President, you have to act. Your second?
There is a motion and a second for renewal of classified staff. All those in favor?
Yeah.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Terry, do you have anything to say?
Yes, there is a motion on the table to adjourn.
I second it.
Motion on the table, to adjourn, second, all in favor?
Second.
All opposed?